I don't want to hear any Republicans say they care about the environment or nature ever again, because the Trump administration is using an animal adoption loophole in order to sell protected Mustang horses off to slaughter to build data centers. According to an article from the New York Times, the Trump administration has shipped off nearly 4,000 Mustangs in 2025 alone to Ohio horse traders, who in turn sell them off to Canadian meat processing companies for slaughter. The government spends more than $3,000 to catch each individual Mustang. They then turn around and sell these horses off to these Ohio traders for a measly $25 each, who then turns around and sells them off to these foreign meat processing companies in Canada for $750 in turn. Slaughtering horses is explicitly illegal in the United States. However, through a legal loophole, horse traders are able to fill out adoption applications for these horses in mass and then sell them off abroad and export them alive, only to be slaughtered and processed into cuts of meat to be sold elsewhere in foreign meat markets. This is blatant corruption. And I'm not just talking about the fact that the government is using your tax money to enrich their cronies that will assist them in whatever money laundering scheme they have, but as well as the literal destruction and loss of life that comes with it. Because this is not just about harming animals in the process for cruelty's sake. There is an underlying purpose, because the less protected wildlife there is in these wild, undeveloped spaces that make up our protected public lands in the West, it opens up more real estate for these corrupt monsters to develop their atrocious data centers, which is what the Trump administration has openly admitted that they are doing as they have rolled back protective legislation in order to do so.
Come with me to the construction site of a new data center being built in Mason County, West Virginia. So, what you are seeing is the future site of the Monarch Compute Campus, which is an AI data center being built by the company Nscale. Now, Nscale is a vertically integrated AI infrastructure company that is based out of the UK. The company recently faced public scrutiny after the neighborhood that is currently being shown faced localized flooding. The construction site's stormwater controls failed after the area received heavy rainfall, and many of the houses you are seeing received water damage of some form. But what I want you all to see is just how close this data center will be to the people living in this neighborhood. It's practically in their backyard. You'll notice that several of the houses are already up for sale. People are leaving. They do not want to live next to a data center. The locals really had no say in the matter, and now they're either being forced to leave their homes or stay near a massive construction site that's constantly kicking up dust and has already caused damages to homes. This is the reality of data centers in America. Real people are being affected by them. They aren't just out in the middle of nowhere. They're in our backyards and infiltrating our neighborhoods. I'm fuming, y'all. This image comes from Mason County, West Virginia. There's a data center being built very close to residential areas. Now, we've had some decent rainfall the past couple days throughout the state, but because of the construction, people who live close to this area have received water damage to their homes from flooding. Now, local news has reported that allegedly the individuals affected by this will receive compensation for the damages. But it doesn't undo what has already happened. And people are concerned about the future, rightfully so. I know I've talked a lot on here about the environmental impact of these data centers, as well as concerns about water quality, water pressure, etc. But this is also impacting humans right as we speak. I mean, this is someone's backyard. These are homes. These are people's livelihoods. There's memories here. And so people shouldn't have to be concerned that their homes are going to be damaged because of these data centers. It's ridiculous. So our state leadership needs to do something. They need to step up to make sure that West Virginians are protected from these data centers, plain and simple.
You own this land. The Bureau of Land Management just handed almost 90 acres of it to a data center company without asking you. I'm Hannah, and this is Chili, where we tell you what's going on in the world and how you can take action to help. In June, the Bureau of Land Management signed off on the Townsite Data Center, 88.5 acres of public land near the Townsite Solar Project, with no open comment period or change for the community to weigh in on before the approval landed. There's an executive order behind this, one built to fast-track data center permitting on federal land. But this isn't inevitable. It's a permitting decision made by a federal agency on land we have every right to have a say over. The good news is that there's already a bill built to close this exact loophole. It would permanently ban large AI data centers on any federal land, including military bases, and force the removal of ones that shouldn't have been approved in the first place. Public land isn't supposed to get signed away in the dark. Town sites approval can still be reopened for full public review. And this bill is how we stop it happening again on federal land. The people who approve this didn't ask us, so we asked back. Head to Chile to tell your representative to back the No AI Data Centers on Public Land Act, and follow us for more updates on how you can resist data centers all across the US.
There are now more than 5,000 data centers operating across this country, and the pace of new construction has genuinely never been faster than it is right now. What used to be a niche industrial category tucked away in a small handful of states has turned into one of the biggest land use and utility stories in America today, and a lot of communities are only finding out what's being built near them after construction has already broken ground and the trucks have started rolling in. The trigger for all of this is artificial intelligence, specifically how much raw power it takes to actually run at scale. Training and operating AI models requires enormous, continuous amounts of electricity, and the facilities built to house that computing power can use as much energy as an entire small city, running around the clock without pause, every single day of the year. Virginia, Texas, and Georgia have absorbed a huge share of this build-out so far, but it's spreading fast now into states that never expected to become part of this story at all just a couple years ago.
My Ohio electric bill just hit $700. And I'm not alone. This summer, Ohio ratepayers were projected to see bills as high as $800. A big driver in Ohio is the data center demand. And John Husted spent years recruiting data centers to Ohio, then told his constituents that we are the problem. Regular ratepayers are now subsidizing that build out while Husted avoids accountability for it. I didn't ask to subsidize a data center, did you?
What would you do if a data center moved into your backyard? I am in Lowell, Massachusetts, where a data center quite literally moved into the middle of town. This is a perfectly normal New England town, and boom, data center. It's just feet away from some residents' properties.
Be out in my yard and I'd feel water on my head,
Yeah.
raindrops and it'd be from the cooling towers.
And when they turn them on, the black smoke that comes out of this stack here and the one next to it, it's so bad. It comes up here and it just settles in the
The
yard.
thing that sets off emissions is like right next to my house and it makes like a lot of noise. So it wakes me up in the morning so I can't really sleep.
But my wife didn't enjoy our yard because she couldn't come out. It was too noisy. And for her to go to the car, she had to wear earmuffs. Like right there, actually.
Yeah, there they have.
And
You have a rash of for sale signs on houses in the area.
We putting the house on the market.
Now,
We're leaving. Yeah,
because of the data center?
this isn't what we want. My wife has been here her whole life and was born on this street, 1963.
One of the biggest concerns that people keep telling me is that the values of their properties may go down now that they have a data center in their backyard.
People have said, oh, is that a prison over there? So I do think it would knock down the value of the house. People would come and look at the house and look out the back windows and they'd see that.
I bought this house as for my son, for him to grow up in it, and for us to build a home that it can affect the home value, it can affect the water that we consume.
I am on someone's back porch, and this is their lovely view of the data center.
It's just like a huge black box that kind of ruins the view.
Just remember driving by and that big building was there, like a big black scary building.
Everywhere I go in town, I keep just running back into the fence, this black spiky fence. People also keep telling me that they're freaked out by the amount of cameras that are along the fence and can see into their yards and houses.
And those cameras, I mean, I think they're very invasive.
It's like 4 different cameras pointed at my house. And like you can see like me coming out, me coming in my house, and sometimes you can even see through the window.
Eileen Castle, who lives in this house but didn't want to be in the video, told me that there was a camera from the data center that she believed could see into her kitchen. Mauchly, the company behind the data center, staunchly disagrees with this. They sent me 13 letters from people who are in support of the data center being there. They say that Lowell's always been an industrial place, so the data center shouldn't be seen as out of the ordinary for the neighborhood, that the neighbors are exaggerating the noise, and that the cameras can't see into the neighbors' homes. And that when that neighbor told them that the camera could see into her house, they moved it.
Did anyone else's Ohio electric bill shoot up last month? Because mine went up by 56.6% from the month previous. Let me show you. I'm on Duke. I've been on Duke for forever. My June 25 bill was $198. My June 26 bill, $206. Okay, look, I don't use that much kilowattage. My bill, are you ready? $322. That is a 56% increase. That is unsustainable. That is unsustainable for Ohio families. And where is this coming from? Could it be because John Husted is all wrapped up in the first energy scandal? It's time to vote out the MAGA Republicans that we never voted in the first place.
A huge move for data center regulation today. The Tennessee Valley Authority, which is the power supplier for all of Tennessee and parts of other states, is changing how much data centers pay for power with the goal of keeping their growing energy demand from costing you and I more. So the TVA board met here in Memphis Thursday and approved a new rate just for data centers. The change starts October 1st and will phase in over 3 years. TVA believes its current rates just don't fully cover the cost and power needs that come with data centers. TVA Executive Vice President and CFO Tom Rice breaks it all down.
We expect that the average all-in billing impact of the data center rate to be about 10% above what they pay today, and this will align them with their cost.
And large data centers that use more than 5 megawatts will also pay an extra charge to help cover the cost of adding the power capacity they need. According to TVA officials, the new structure should help keep those costs from falling on homes and other businesses.
The bill for this doesn't stay contained to the companies building these facilities either. When a utility has to build new power lines, substations, and generation capacity specifically to serve one massive new data center customer, that infrastructure cost typically gets spread across every ratepayer connected to the same grid, including households that have nothing to do with the data center and never asked for any of it. Utility rate cases tied to data center demand have shown up in multiple states now, and the pattern in each one looks remarkably similar.
I talked to one farmer and they had 7,000 acres taken or bought, whatever. And they said that it affects their crops completely because it's pulling so much water. And I Googled how much water daily would a 7,000 acre data center place take a day, and it's 2 to 5 million gallons a day. So taking 2 to 5 million gallons a day from the ground that is usually there to help plants grow, taking that away, yeah, that would have a huge effect on the crops. And I think that that's the big thing right now because, you know, a lot of farmers are talking about generational farming and how many generational farms are going down, and the handing down from the older generation to this generation is difficult. And people think that it's a power thing or giving the responsibility away and their say-so is going away. It kind of has to do with that, but I think that the hardest part for the older generation of farmers is having to admit to themselves that their entire life's work could be done in a day by a robot now. And you can't Google anything without AI answering it for you because I Googled about the 7,000 acres and then it was AI that answered it for me.
On those land grabs, the AI boom is devouring American farmland. Our average data center footprint is 224 acres, so a little over a quarter section, which is up 144% since 2022. Obviously, they've been building more, so it's going to be a rapid increase, obviously. But each facility guzzles about 5 million gallons of water per day and 1 gigawatt of power. 40 states are dangling tax breaks to move data centers there. Trump's executive order 14318 fast tracks federal permitting for these data centers. But ranchers and farmers, which are, his base is, ranchers and farmers are like 90% on his base, are pushing back pretty hard. Kentucky's Huddleston family rejected over $26 million for 900 acres of generational farm ground. That was part of a 2,000-acre rezoning for a data center campus. The family cited irreversible water drain that would kill neighbors' wells and pastures. In rural Pennsylvania, a planned data center is sparking GOP primary revolts against a pro-AI congressman. Farmers can't buy expansion land because tech money is bidding it up. Texas counties are yanking zoning incentives and retracting approvals over the noise, the water, and the power grid strain of these data centers. And nationwide, $156 billion in 48 projects are blocked or stalled by grassroots opposition. So they'll pay you real fat check today, but it'll wreck whatever legacy you were trying to leave behind if you're a family farm or ranch. Once that ground gets rezoned, it doesn't typically come back. So the water and the power drain hits every neighbor on the aquifer and the water table, not just the cellar. Local zoning boards are your firewall. So if you don't want that shit in your backyard, you've got to speak up.
We got AI data centers going in every county dang near up around where we live, like crazy, and they're employing like, I don't know, 3,000 to 4,000 people per place as they're putting them in. They're putting in a man camp in our county that's going to be about, at its maximum, going to be about 4,000 people. Now, we don't have, that's about our county population as it is. So, the biggest concern here is water, right? Now, hear me out. I'm going to make some people mad in this one. And it's going to go against what most people think. Most people here are really concerned about our water situation. We've had a shitty water situation long before these people showed up. And that's just partly the way that our water system was designed. So we get partially our water from a small lake up in Donley County, and then some wells that are online for that. But people talk about the water table and they're gonna shrink it and it's gonna go away. But my question is, what's the difference? Now buckle up. What's the difference in that and say a farmer? Now some of these they'll say, well, they're using 40,000 gallons a day. What's the difference in that and a guy running a irrigation well that pumps 1,000 gallons a minute and turns it on May the 15th and leaves that sumbitch until September the 15th, running 1,000 gallons a minute nonstop. Now you can do the math pretty easy. It doesn't take long to get 50,000 gallons it doesn't take long at all. So what's the difference other than the fact that he owns it? But a lot of times we're putting this water on a cotton crop that ain't worth a shit. It's the same price it was in the 80s. So it doesn't make sense. I think everybody should wear cotton, but I also, think that times change, and until they start doing better marketing of the cotton industry, that other stuff's going to take it over. So when everybody's mad at these data centers, and I'm making this video on a phone, I put it on a flat platform that uses AI. Every time we check the weather, it uses AI. Every time we check software and pivots and the markets, and it's all AI. We're all guilty of it. You check your bank account, you check it is what it is. But how do we regulate it? And then at the same time, we got to be better conservationists of our water and use it for something that has, some validity to it other than shitty crops that ain't worth shit. Anyways, I'm interested in all kinds of opinions, good or bad. Let's hear them.
In Corpus Christi right now, they're literally having water shortage problems. There's a farmers union or a farmers organization that is currently standing up against AI data centers in Texas because, again, we have lack of water, lack of resources. Actually, just watch the video.
Happy to say that recently the Texas Farmers Union has come out against these AI data centers taking our land, our water, and causing other problems. We are calling for a full moratorium on all data center construction in Texas until we can learn more about their true cost. Because look, this is happening everywhere. It's happening behind us. It's happening in other parts of our state. It's happening in other states themselves. In other states, like near Tennessee, Arkansas, Virginia, where they built these things, power prices doubled. Where they built these things, water wells started to run dry, and the ones that didn't became toxic.
Water is the other resource getting pulled into this quietly. A lot of these facilities use significant amounts of water for cooling systems that keep the servers from overheating during continuous operation. And in areas already dealing with drought or genuinely tight water supplies, a single large facility can become a significant new draw on a resource that local families and farms were already competing over long before any of this new construction ever started.
If you're one of those people who still believe that AI is not destroying our planet, the UN has actually just announced that we are in a state of no return with our water. In other words, we are running low on water and the water cycle cannot save us here. And I bet with this information, there are still going to be people who use big AI. Every conversation that you have with your chatbot is contributing to this problem. You are the reason why 39 million gallons of water is being wasted every single day. And I would hope that with this news, you stop using AI entirely. But if you're still too selfish to do so, there is an eco-friendly alternative. This is called EcoGPT and it uses 10 times less resources, 10 times less water, and also runs 10 times more efficiently. Not only that, but it actually plants a tree for every 100 prompts that you ask it, so it's actively giving back to the environment. So if you haven't deleted ChatGPT off your phone yet, what are you doing?
So I'm just leaving a public hearing on data center regulations out here in St. Charles Parish. And I wanted to give some of my takeaways from it. First, this is the second time that I have seen Parish President Jewell and heard him talk about things going on in the community. And it's also the second time that he's kind of rubbed me the wrong way. The legislation in question is talking about like regulations for data centers. And he started off the meeting with a little presentation on like distinctions between like different types of data centers, which is helpful, but also there was a clear attempt to wash the introduction of data centers to St. Charles Parish. He addressed the concerns that he knew that there were people from the public there because of the concerns about a data center similar to one in North Louisiana, the one that is the size of Manhattan or has a footprint the size of Manhattan. So he made a distinction and said that that would be categorized. What we were talking about today is what would be categorized as like M1 data centers, which are smaller. And he, I think, tried to assure us that a larger data center similar to the one in North Louisiana would not be coming to St. Charles Parish. But that's not what he said, really.
How?
The regulations themselves. So one of the examples that he cited was an old theater in Baton Rouge that had been converted into a data center. The comment he made was that no one would ever know. Now, this is for another video, but there's so many things wrong with that. First of all, that's a sign of like private equity that came into the community and took away a small business and sucked out the resources from it. And it was sitting empty because of things like that, because of the things that our corporations have done to the business landscape of America over the past 30. And now that building is going to be put to use, but not for human jobs or for something for the community. It's for a data center. The regulations that they are trying to put in place say that for the M1 data centers, if they were to try to put it near a residential area, there's some regulations that they would have to put in place, such as being a football field away and having landscaping to hide it being an eyesore, or a sound barrier to protect from the sound pollution. And don't worry, they don't take up as much energy as they say, as you're seeing in the news articles. I wanted to make sure that there was someone there on behalf of the community that's requesting that the council think about even attracting AI center or data centers in general. Consider whether they're even good for the community in the first place. We know that they're bad for the environment. We know that they don't create jobs. We already prioritize our business relationships with the oil and chemical plants out here over the best interests of the people who live here. Do we really need to start acting in Mark Zuckerberg's best interest for over St. Charles residents too?
The Jefferson County Plan Commission usually only has one meeting when they're talking about changing an ordinance. But when it comes to data centers, they've had several meetings and they've got a couple more to go. And there have been thousands of people responding.
I'm going to start off with the Constitution. Ben Franklin said, when you give up your liberty, you shall not have security.
I want us to be more proactive than reactive.
Where will the water waste go if chemicals or cooling fluids are used? How will that water be treated and disposed of? We need clear answers before moving forward.
So when the company says this isn't profitable anymore, taxpayers do not get handed a giant industrial mess and demolition bill.
Local governments, for their part, are often the ones inviting these projects in the first place, offering significant tax incentives specifically to land the construction jobs and the promised long-term tax revenue that comes with hosting a major facility. Officials frequently describe it as a straightforward economic win for the area at the announcement stage. Residents living closest to the actual site don't always experience it that way once the dust settles, especially after the building is finished and the permanent jobs that remain turn out to be a small fraction of what was originally promised during construction.
So I've been watching all of these videos of concerned citizens all over the nation, especially Texas, because that's where I am, but all over the nation, really throwing up their hands, fighting back against all of these data centers going in everywhere. Everyone's concerned. Everyone's scared. Everyone's fighting back. It seems to me there's few people for it, a ton of people against it, and then the smallest difference being those who aren't paying attention to it yet. And if they were, they would probably have an opinion as well. My question is, we know that Trump is pro-AI. He wants to be the world leader in AI. And I get that. America's always been at a race for everything. The states are really quiet about it. They're not saying anything. And it's coming down to the county commissioners to handle all of it. Now, as y'all probably know, most of our county commissioners throughout the nation aren't experts in law, aren't experts in data centers or power generation stations or any of that. They have mixed backgrounds, and some of them are just average Joes like you and me that are trying to step up and do right by the community. And now they're saddled with passing these proposed data centers all over the nation, all over their respective counties. And why are most of the county commissioners across Texas and across our nation, why are they so pro data center? Now, I know that in most states, the commissioners answer to the state and are about the state's business. They're not really about their constituents. They aren't representing us. But why? What is happening that they're all seemingly pushing and in support of these data centers when the largest portion of the constituents are vehemently against it? Can some of y'all help me out with this? What do you know? What are we missing? Why are they hiding the raw data from us? The real details? Why don't they bring it up at the commissioners' meetings? If you have any insight on this, I would love to hear it. Please educate me, enlighten me. Tell me your theories and thoughts, because I'm stumped. Anyway, bless you and thank you.
Okay, so I just got home from the public hearing. I'm really tired. as always. What's new? I'm always tired. Anyways, I have to show the sign. I love when people make signs and then they hand them out at the thing. I love that this is the sign that I got because like I didn't pick this. The woman gave it to me. Mi gente Latino. I love women. But anyways, I love that that's the sign that I got because it's just so me coded. This is exactly what I care about, and I just love that it's in Spanish. I'm gonna put it in my room because I think it's very beautiful. Anyways, thank you to the woman who gave me this sign. If you happen to see this, gracias por la sign. Sorry, I don't know how to say that in Spanish. I need to get to the point. I'm very tired, so I want to hurry up and film this intro so that I could put the clips. Because basically, I can't just like upload the clips without like doing an intro. And I also want to talk just real quick about how it went. Because that was not my first hearing. I have been to a hearing before, but that was Margie's first hearing. And at like the end, you're going to see her speak. You're going to see her speak because my cousin did speak. She wanted to talk her shit, and she did. It just sucks because like they had like that thing where like the mic only goes on for like a minute because honestly they do have to like, they gotta wrap it up. It was actually kind of wily, so I only filmed like a little bit. I only filmed portions of it, so the vlog is not gonna be that long because it was a lot. Tensions were high, and tension should be high because this is lives at stake. It's a lot of things. Okay, it is a lot of things. I am the whole thing with AI. Because like I used to be like, what's the word? Staunchly, if that's the word. I used to be like super against it. Like I have never seen like a benefit to it ever. But I remember my friend Paula, like she would like say stuff. I can't remember what she said exactly. It's because I'm tired. But like I understand, like also like Margie too has like told me stuff. Like I do understand, like, or it's like that thing of like you don't want to be left behind with the technology. I don't really like that. I don't really like that argument. What I also don't really like, what really pissed me the fuck off at the meeting was when he made his argument, the whole thing about how like everyone that uses like Netflix and Hulu and all that shit, and then trying to make us feel like we're hypocrites because we don't want this AI shit. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like literally, I think I actually said that, not like I didn't yell at him. But it's just, I'm like making my little comments to myself because I can't help it. But it's just like really annoying to use that argument because it's like, yeah, we all use technology. Like, what the fuck? What else are we gonna do? But it's like, I hate the people who support AI that their argument is that like it's inevitable. It's inevitable. Robots are gonna take over. Like, come get into it. Like, just shut the fuck up. I hate all that shit. I really do. It gets on my fucking nerves. Anyways, mind you, like, because it's like the whole thing. Like, I never used AI. Oh, now I'm gonna go into story time. Let's not get into it. It doesn't matter at this moment. Anyways, it was also very annoying to me how it's just like the whole thing. I do understand that they have to go by the agenda, and also, but like, here's my point. What I really took away from it, because this is why I do go to things like this, and I think that people should talk their shit because like tensions, like I said, tensions are high. I know that like emotions don't really need to be in the room when you're talking about matters like such as this, but like, why would I not be fucking emotional? Why should people not be allowed to express themselves in this way? Like as a I keep wanting to say congressman, but he's not a congressman. As a local, not constituent, 'cause that's what we are, but like as a public service worker, like that's what you're here for us to express ourselves. And yes, you are getting our anger. And not that I think that like people should be, because like I'm not someone that's like an angry person. So for me to like actually be like, down, it's because like there are certain things that do fucking matter and when you should be fucking angry. And to me, I think this is it. I agree. Like, this is what I fucking hate, is the fact that a data center is taking up all of this water. Seriously, this water, this finite resource that we don't have a lot of, and we're using it for this bullshit. Like, that's the shit that gets on my fucking nerves, and it grinds my fucking gears. And I'm like, this is such bullshit. And it's true that it is just lining their pockets, lining the billionaires' pockets, and it's like a whole thing. And I'm like, that's why I fucking hate this shit. That's why I hate it. Not that I fucking hate if someone just uses ChatGPT real quick, because mind you, I just downloaded ChatGPT on my phone the other day. Why? I'm not gonna use it all the time. I'm not gonna be that person, mind you. But I did see this thing where it was like put it in there so you could do like well, it's like for like the money or whatever, you know, like ideas or whatever. So like whatever. That I don't have a problem with, but I think it's ridiculous that people use it like all day every day for like ideas and stuff. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, can you not think? Sorry, but I do. That is what I'm of that opinion that I think it's ridiculous to use it instead of your own brain cells, because that shit, like, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. Okay. And then I hate those ads that are like featuring elderly people so that they can like talk to AI. And I'm like, we need to talk to each other, not fucking ChatGPT and Claude and shit and Gemini. Like, you know what I mean? Anyways, I'm sweating in the car. Anyways, okay, so that's my spiel. I appreciated what everybody had to say. And I think that this is just gonna keep going on and on and on and on and on. We just gotta fight the fight. We gotta fight the good fight, because we can't be wasting water like this. We just can't. We can't be wasting water like this. Like, seriously, no mames. Like, actually, quit fucking around. Obviously, they don't care, because, you know, they just want the money. They just want the money. It was very interesting because they were also having someone speak who was like, for like the plans of like the zoning shit. It was very fucking annoying to me, because then they do this whole bullshit, this whole game of like, we don't have plans for a data center, blah, 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 like all of this bullshit stuff. And I'm like, you're a fucking liar. Like, sorry, but that's what I'm getting away from this, because it just seems because like they know how to, like, they're saying certain things to like, they're like, you guys don't know, you're not informed. Look at this, look at these plans. There is no data center. But then they say other things and it's like, but you do have plans. And also like people fucking lie. Like they do lie. And like they say whatever they can say to like get it passed and like shit like that, and to confuse us. That's the other thing, is I'm like, I feel like he's trying to confuse us so that we're like, you know, and it's like a whole thing. It was, and also like people, I don't know if I got that in one of the videos. I think I did. It's like the clip where someone speaks right before my cousin Margie. But I don't know if I did get it on the thing though. But when she was saying that she was talking down to us, because it was crazy where, I'm not gonna lie, people are being very disrespectful. I'm like, and I'm disrespectful too, because it's like, shut the fuck up and blah, 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 and like yelling and stuff like that. So we are totally talking our shit to them. But like, it's a whole nother thing, in my opinion, for them to be talking shit to us and like telling us to shut up. And it's like, because now it's like really angering them and all the things. But I just think as like the professional, because it's your job and this is literally what you signed up for. And he even said that to us of like something about 2 hours pay, some bullshit. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know. But it was like a whole thing. And I'm just like, well, if you're the professional in the room and we're here as constituents, I can't say the word, talking our shit, it's like, you're the one, like, you can't be talking down to us, because this is like a whole thing. I don't know. Like, you know, call me crazy, call me hypocrite. I don't give a fuck. But that is how I feel, mind you. Anyways, so that's my intro to the vlog. And then next is going to be like the clips that I did take of like people speaking. You probably can't hear it that well because I was like in the back at first. And then at the very end is going to be the clip where my cousin Marjorie speaks. Gloria, link down below to her socials. Love her down. I know that she's going to make content about what she spoke about and stuff. So I will also link that once that's up so that you can see her full message, because I didn't get to hear the full message and I really wanted to. I also wanted to say this too. I thought it was very beautiful. I was shaking. That video, like, you're gonna tell I'm like literally shaking because I was so like I was so stressed out, because I knew that she was also like stressed out. It was her first time like doing public speaking, and I knew that it was gonna come from the heart. And as soon as she started talking and it like she mentioned the soul, I'm like, it's over. It's fucking done. Like, you fucking won. You know what I mean? Because like there's no fucking around when it comes to the soul. And I really wish that I could have heard like the rest of it, and I did ask her, but like I knew that she was gonna like, you know, make content about it and stuff. So like I will get to hear the full message. But I'm very proud of her, and I told her that I cried, I teared up. It was so beautiful to me to see my cousin do this, to face this fear, and to talk her shit, because that's what we should be doing. And by talk her shit, all I mean is like to say your message, say what you need to say. And what was the other thing that I was gonna say? Yeah, it was just so beautiful to me. And also, like, even like after it happened, where I was kind of like, I get shy, you know, I say that all the time, I get really shy. But I was like, I have to tell her in this moment how proud I am of her. So I told her how proud I was. I gave her a hug, and I like really wanted to like cry and stuff, but I was like in public too, so it's like a thing of like, I don't want like everyone to see me, because like I am, even though like I am been practicing this and I'm very open about my feelings now, but I still get very shy. I can't help it. I'm still shy. But anyways, yeah, that was very beautiful to me. So yeah, please enjoy the next clips. If you are curious of what this public hearing is like, if you were there, if you're watching it, I don't know. Yeah, let's see what happens. Hopefully, we can prevent this shit from happening because I am not down. I am not down for more data centers. Fuck the data centers, okay? We don't need them. We don't need them. We don't need them. You fucking billionaires. You just want that shit. You want that money for yourself. Fuck the data centers. Okay, bye.
This upcoming Wednesday, August 19th at 3:30 p.m., the city of Adelanto in San Bernardino County is having a public hearing on a proposed zoning change that would allow data centers and similar uses. While other cities in California like Coachella and Indio are banning data centers, Adelanto is trying to welcome them. This change in zoning code in favor of data centers would set a terrible precedent for Southern California. The public hearing is taking place in the afternoon when most people are at work. So if you are able to attend in person, please do so that the city council knows where their constituents stand. Especially in an election year, using our voices is particularly impactful. If you are unable to attend and want to submit written comment, you can email nallen@adelantoca.gov, and we'll also put a link on notinmyvalley.org. We are also going to be taking this issue to the Riverside County Board of Supervisors soon, so please sign and share the petition on notinmyvalley.org calling for a ban on hyperscale data centers in Riverside County.
If you live in Greensboro, I'm sure you've heard a little bit of buzz about data centers coming to the east side of the city.
I want to make it perfectly clear. I don't have all the knowledge yet. We have not gone through everything. We've got to learn everything about data centers in order to make an educated decision.
Let me tell you, the city council is actually looking to get community feedback on a proposed moratorium that could come into place by a formal vote. I'm Bethany Cates with WXII 12 News, and let me break it down for you.
We want to make sure that you all have ample time to incorporate safeguards for the East Greensboro residents that will be most impacted by the data center.
Now, the moratorium will put a temporary pause on acceptances, processes, and the approval of development applications for data centers that are exceeding 10 megawatts. Now, I attended the public hearing on Monday evening, and this proposed moratorium is set for 120 days as of right now, but many people said they'd like to see it for 32 months. Now, I asked the mayor about all of this, and she says they're looking to hear everyone in the community who expresses their concerns to make an informed decision for the community as a whole. You can find more information in the link in the bio.
Some states are starting to respond directly. Lawmakers in several states have introduced bills that would require data center operators to cover more of their own dedicated infrastructure costs instead of having them spread automatically across every other ratepayer by default. None of these efforts have fully solved the underlying tension yet, but they represent the first real pushback against a model that, until recently, almost nobody outside the industry was paying close attention to.
And they just slammed the U.S. with a 25% tariff on electricity. 3 states rely on this electricity: Minnesota, Michigan, New York. These are also states that are in data centers at a rapid pace. For those folks that are living up there, they're already paying an escalated electricity price. Now they're paying 25% more. It's good, clean energy from Canada. So in retaliation for this, Trump has added another 25% tax on Canada. Now I'm going to deal with not only escalating prices, because of the usage that the data center sucks up, folks might be dealing with rolling outages. Our Orangeman created all of this, and now he's playing the victim.
A Republican state just stood up to big tech, and California is still doing studies. Tennessee just made it illegal for utilities to pass data center electricity costs onto regular ratepayers. And this wasn't just a fringe bill. It sailed through with bipartisan support because residents near Memphis watched their electric bills skyrocket while xAI was building a $500 million AI facility right down the street. And here in San Jose and the South Bay, we're surrounded by data centers. Silicon Valley is ground zero for this build-out. And California did pass a law, but it was watered down. And right now, it mostly tells regulators to study the problem with results due in 2027. Tennessee, Florida, South Dakota, Nebraska, Alabama, they're all drawing hard lines. The cost of building AI infrastructure should not land on your monthly power bill. And that's the consensus. Left, right, doesn't matter. And for anyone buying or owning a home in the South Bay, where energy costs are already baked into your high cost of living, This is a story worth watching very closely. Keep in mind that water, noise, EMF, and heat buildup are other problems tied to data center. I'm Steve Moon, your San Jose Metro Realtor, keeping you informed about AI data centers and how they affect your home value.
Do you see that light switch on your wall? Yeah, in a few years, that might not even exist. Right now, data centers are eating up about 21% of an entire country's electricity. That country is Ireland, and it's projected to hit 32% next year. That means a third of every kilowatt the country makes goes to chatbots. Federal hospitals, schools, homes, factories, they're all competing with ChatGPT for power and losing. AI data centers are on track to use more electricity than every manufacturing plant in the country by 2030. So your kid's school, your grandma's hospital, your AC during a heat wave, all losing power to chatbots. Switch to EcoT. It is the eco-friendly alternative, or don't use AI at all. It uses 10 times less water, electricity, and resources. And plants a tree for every 100 prompts. A country should not have to choose between a hospital and a chatbot.
If you want to know whether this is already touching your own area, checking your state utility commission's recent rate case filings is a genuinely useful place to start, since a lot of these decisions get made in hearings that almost nobody outside the industry ever actually attends or even hears about until the new number shows up on their own bill. Whether AI itself turns out to be good or bad for the country long term is a much bigger question than one video can answer. What's clearer right now is who's actually covering the electric bill for the infrastructure it runs on, and increasingly, that's regular households who never got a vote in the decision. Has a data center gone up anywhere near where you live? Tell me what you've noticed in the comments. Cost Crisis covers stories like this regularly, so stick around for more. Thanks for watching.